What is going on, guys? It's Dealer here, back again with an actual video. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, I know I've been doing podcasts here a lot on the channel lately. That's usually a once a week thing, and it still is. But I just haven't been able to put out many of these types of videos. My favorite kinds of videos to make is get some gameplay out there, some high quality stuff, and let it just go. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that lately, but next week I should have my PC in order and all that good stuff, so I'll be back to producing more and more content as usual. Thank you so much for hanging in there. I digress. Let's get into some pretty substantial E3 news. So, just a fair warning, if you're one of those anti-consumer turd burglars that hates it when Microsoft are doing things that are good for the industry and competition in itself, you might want to quit watching this video now. Otherwise, brace yourself for some good Microsoft, just some good Xbox news. Let me just say it, and make some of your skin crawl, some of you anti-consumer frauds. So, irrelevant turds aside, guys, we have something to talk about with E3 2018, and before we get into what Aaron Greenberg said, we've got to start by talking about what the Sony fanboys have been saying over the past couple years, because if not for you, Sony fanboy, Aaron Greenberg would have never spoken up. I actually thank you. I appreciate it. I like this kind of news. I like it when executives come up and dismantle arguments that have been going around for 4 or 5 days straight. It's refreshing. So basically, these guys have been saying, look at Xbox's leaked E3 floor plan. It's abysmal. They must not have any software. Oh my god, Microsoft sucks. They should die. Well, Aaron Greenberg's like, hey, I like my job. I should do it. And he spoke out and said, well, that's not true. We're going to be at E3 in a big way. And not only that, these leaked E3 floor plans for Microsoft are not accurate. I'll repeat, are not accurate. So hey, at the end of the day, I think Aaron Greenberg did an absolutely phenomenal job deconstructing this ridiculous rumor that says Microsoft's presence is going to be much smaller than that of the previous E3. I think that's ridiculous. And by extension, he kind of confirms that it could be a massive year for Xbox. He says they'll be there in a big way. And I heard from 2 sources that this is going to be one of Xbox's biggest E3s ever, with a ton of software, and of course that software being powered by the most powerful console on the market, the Xbox One X. So at the end of the day, I know Sony's going to have a good year, I know Xbox is going to have a good year. The question is, will this help chip away at that market share that Sony has? Is this bad for Sony? So I find this absolutely refreshing, as I've mentioned before, when an executive comes out and directly or indirectly destroys some of these prominent Twitter and YouTube Sony fanboys, some of these fake neutrals, some of these fake trolls. I actually love this kind of stuff because it kind of sets the record straight. So once again, does it really matter if that E3 floor plan was accurate or not? Not really, seeing as it's no bigger or no smaller than last year's floor plan, and Microsoft had by far the most software on their stage. They had almost 50 titles in that 90-minute window. Nobody else came even close. And we're talking about games that you can play on your console. That thing sitting right in front of you right now, most likely, not some $300 peripheral. We're talking about real games for a console, not a peripheral for a console. So once again, I think they'll probably have a similar amount of software this year. Who knows? That was an obscene amount of software last year. But either way, with prominent titles like Cyberpunk 2077, potentially Bad Company 3, Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2, Forza Horizon 4, and more there, you're just going to have a good time seeing some amazing looking games on the Xbox One X. And that's really what people should be focused on. You remember a time when gaming was positivity. It was a hobby. It brought joy to people. And, unfortunately, you've got some of these guys just, I don't know, man. They say they don't take it seriously, but they sure do pay attention to it all damn day. And me personally, I got better things to do than to troll people or pretend like I'm trolling people. It's just kind of ridiculous, honestly. So, once again, guys, I'd like to know what you think down below. I am no longer a part of Xbox Nation, by the way. For those that are curious, no drama cheese here. Just moving forward, consolidating the time I have. I will be doing RDX Podcast and RDX Podcast alone, at least on the scheduled podcast side of things. I may drop into one here or there randomly, but otherwise, my channel is where I'll be. And I hope to see you guys every single week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a phenomenal show. We're going to ramp up the podcast and make it even better. And if you missed the last one, I will link it down below. Check that RDX podcast out. And as always, check out the link down below for the patron stuff. I just gave away a copy of, I think it was Witcher 3 Complete Edition. The guy chose that from Assassin's Creed Origins, Wolfenstein 2, Cuphead, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and more. So once again, shout out to Chris Brooks on Patreon. We appreciate your support, and as always, thank you so much for checking out the video. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're in the kind of content I'm putting out here. I'm Dealer. I'm out.